Good morning. I did do my makeup and my hair as ready as I'm gonna get today. It's day 3. I'm gonna weigh in. I, like most of us, I love instant gratification. So I have to kind of do this every 3 days to make sure I'm on the right path. I've been using MyFitnessPal to log all my food. I'm kind of doing low carbish. It really works for me, low sugar. So let's weigh in and see where I'm at. All right, here we go. We're gonna weigh in. And the light's weird. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So, I'm down a pound. I can do a pound in 3 days, right? We know that it's mostly water weight. I get that. I have not started going back to the gym yet. That is going to be something I do, but probably next week. Okay. So, I'm not going to complain about a pound. 3 days, 1 pound. That works for me, even if it is water weight. At least it's movement on the scale, right? We haven't been very... I think it would be more. I'm just under some stress right now. But it's fine. I'm eating fine. Lots of greens and fruit and veggies. Just kind of cut back on my meat portions. I'm kind of failing in the salad dressing department. I know that. I just can't. If I'm giving up all this other stuff, I'm not going to give up ranch or thousand. Or, you know, if I'm going to have to eat all these vegetables and there has to be a give somewhere, I'm never going to stick to it. That's just really the reality. I don't have a lot of self-control. And it's going to be a process. It is not going to happen overnight. Even if I do want instant gratification, it's just not going to happen. The stress is like 100, you guys. I have a troubled teen. She is 17. She'll be 18 in a couple weeks, and it's a lot of trouble. And a lot of heartbreak on this mama's part. I'm really trying not to cry. She has the most stubborn personality I've ever known. And she doesn't like to respect or follow rules. And so, against my soft mommy heart for her, I had to make some really tough decisions. Let's go back a year and a half. She was enrolled in a school close to where we live, and it's just a little small community. In that small community, there's some poverty and drugs, you know, just the normal, of course, everywhere in society anymore. You can't get away from it. And she started there as a freshman in high school. And at first, everything was fine. And then she kind of started going downhill. And of course, she got a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was bad news. And no matter how hard I tried to keep her home, to try to distract her, it just kept getting worse. So she started using drugs and alcohol and smoking cigarettes. I've been a smoker on and off since I was 16 years old, and I'm really trying hard to kick the habit. I am not a daily smoker anymore. For about a month now, I've been just really working on quitting. So with the stress, I think it's making it a little more difficult for me to quit, because that has always been my stress relief. It's basically been my antidepressant. which doesn't make any sense because it is a you know, whatever. But in my mind, that's what it was. I was self-medicating with cigarettes because I stopped overeating and I stopped feeding my feelings and I started smoking my feelings. So I don't know which one's worse. Neither one of them are good, but I'm trying really hard, you guys. So with the stress, I've noticed that I had a couple cigarettes yesterday. But that was the first cigarettes I'd had in like 4 days. So I'm trying, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. To go 4 days without smoking is really good for me, and so I'm just going to keep trudging along and doing my best I can do. Today's going to be rough. I already know because I didn't get enough sleep. I was awake a lot last night, so today's going to be a rough one. And I'm going to give myself grace, and if I fall, I'm going to get back up and brush my knees off, and I'm going to keep pushing forward because that's what I do. That's what I always do. So anyway, back to my daughter. She she was using and skipping school, and she kept getting in trouble at school, and so I pulled her out and I made her do homeschool. Because I was trying to avoid the constant influence, right? To hopefully get her mind right, but it didn't really work. She started running away. She started going out on our roof. Like, I didn't know I'd go in her room and I didn't know where she was, and she'd be up on the roof. And I would be searching for her everywhere, and then I'd go back to her room and she'd just be laying in her bed like nothing ever happened. And I'd be like, where were you? And she wouldn't tell me. So I had no idea where she was going. Anyway, long story short, I started laying the hammer down. At one point, she had like an emotional breakdown and threw her cigarettes and her condoms and her marijuana all in my face, like literally threw them in my face. And since that day, it's been her goal to just be as hurtful as possible. And I don't know how to get it through her head that the only person she's hurting is herself. I really don't know how to get that through to her. Because I talk and I talk and I talk, and the only thing she hears is me basically like humming. I don't know. She says I'm controlling, but I'm not controlling. If I was controlling, you wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to do the things that you did. So I just don't think that she understands what she's saying, what she's doing, how bad she's hurting herself. Is she hurting me? Yeah, she's hurting me. But, I mean, that doesn't matter, right? Like, for me as a mom, it doesn't matter that she's hurting me. What matters is that she's throwing her life away right now. And I don't know how to get her back on track. I'm trying. I keep reaching out. Anyway, a year ago, she took off and went to my brother's house. And when I tried to get her back home, he told me that I wasn't allowed on his property. He told me that he'd meet me at his property line with a gun. I don't know what the conversations that they had together, you know, she could have been lying for all I know about me being abusive or something, because that's what they kept saying, is I was abusive. I wish I would have laid my hands on that girl. She probably wouldn't be running around like she is. She needed more discipline. That's perfectly honest of me. I obviously did not do enough to discipline. I obviously accepted behavior that was not acceptable for her to continue to behave this way. So I hold myself accountable for not being maybe enough of a parent. I know when I was married to her dad, he was an alcoholic, and there was a lot of issues there. But she was young. She was, I think, 6 when we divorced, and you know, I was hoping that. It's probably naive of me to think that maybe it wouldn't affect her in a negative way as far as like behavior and stuff. Like, I know there were problems, and I knew that emotionally, it might take its toll, but I guess that emotional stuff turns into behavioral stuff, right? I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'm just trying to get it out there and be honest where our life's at right now. So I called, going back, I'm all over the place. Going back to my brother's situation, I called the sheriff to have her picked up because at the time she just turned 16. I called the sheriff to have her picked up, and they refused to go get her. They said it was a family issue and that I needed to work it out with my brother. How do you work out anything with somebody when they say they're going to meet you at the property line with a gun? So I cried and I cried and I cried, and I was just like, allowing her to run is just going to cause more problems. She can't keep running. She has to face her issues. She has to deal with her issues. She has to get some counseling. Like, I had all this stuff that I knew needed to happen, but I was being blocked by my family. So I started going to counseling because I didn't know how to get through it. And I had a counselor that I'd been seeing on and off for years and years. She knew my kids, she knew my husband, my family. And she's like, for your mental well-being, you have to let her go. Like, she has to go and she has to figure it out. She's not that kid that you can help. She's got to figure it out on her own. So, I just decided to let her be. I decided to let her be at my brother's, and as long as I was seeing positivity and productivity, that I was just going to leave the situation alone, because I didn't want to continue to keep my house in upheaval, if she didn't want to be there. So, she ended up doing really well. She got counseling. She got into an alternative school to get caught up on the credits because she quit doing her homeschooling. And she ended up able to graduate a year early, which has been kind of, it hasn't been a blessing. Like, I was really proud of her at the time, but I didn't understand the magnitude of the situation. That senior year is so important, and I kept telling her, are you sure this is what you want to do? You wouldn't really have a lot of schoolwork to do on a daily basis if you went and finished your senior year, but she wanted to graduate. So I just went along with it. And that's kind of where the problems lie now, because she ended up coming back to my house under certain guidelines that, when there were issues, they had to be worked out. There's no running. That's her MO, is to run. You have to stay and you have to work it out. So she came back in July, and excuse me. She came back in July, and things were really good for a while. And once summer ended, I kind of started seeing a little hints of issues. And I kept trying to steer her back. I kept talking to her. What do you want to go to college for? Blah, 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 blah. All those talks that you have with your kid when they're a senior, right? What are you going to do when you go to school? How are we going to get through this? What do we need to do? There's no action. She was working, but very minimal, like 15 hours a week. And then she's doing nothing, right? So I keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And as I continue to encourage and try to push her towards making some decisions, her fear and her anxiety just kept getting greater and greater and greater. And she started behaving even worse and worse and worse. So fast forward, whatever, a couple months, and here we are. She started running around with people that she got in trouble with before, and I kept telling her I didn't like it. She needed to stay home more. And, she's 2 weeks from being 18. What am I going to do? I can't make her stay home. I can't make her do anything. So we had an agreement that she would just go out one night a week. I was, trying to help her stay on a good path. We were talking about colleges, and we have this big trip coming up that we were going to go. Our family's going on a large vacation, and it's something that we save up all year to do. We fly down to Florida. We do a cruise. We stay in Florida for a while. Something that we saved all year to do. And she was really excited to go. We were going to do some college tours. We were going to set that up this week. And she just kept pushing last week. It started on Friday, cussing and screaming about everything, and just really gone off the deep end. And when I would tell her we'd be out in public, and she'd be cussing and hollering, and I would say, I don't like it. You need to quiet down and stop cussing. Then she'd just scream and yell and cause a scene. It's like she just completely had lost her mind. She had absolutely lost her freaking mind. And then she just started disappearing. She'd be gone for hours. And I would call her and she wouldn't answer her phone. And I would text her because I'd be like, you have obligations here at the house. You told me you were going to do this. You told me you were going to do that. You haven't done any of that. And she would ignore me. And one night away from the house turned into 4 nights away at the house with no phone calls, no return calls. So I called her and I said, I've had enough of the run-in and the non-communication. You're not 18. You need to come home so we can have a conversation. So she told me what I wanted to hear, and like always, and then took off again. And she came home Sunday night. Today's Wednesday. She came home Sunday night and wanted to bring a friend home with her, and I said that was fine, but I said you need to go straight, pick her up, and straight back. And she didn't come straight back. She made lots of detours. And so she got home, and she of course wanted to play it off like it was fine. Why are you freaking out, Mom? I was just taking my friends here and taking my friends there. And I was just like, I don't care. Like, it's about respect. Your dad has to get up in the morning. Her stepdad, my husband. And, you're just disrespectful and rude, and you're not communicating, and I'm fed up with it. And it's going to stop. And so then she got pissed off and told me that she was leaving. And this is kind of what she always does. She gets mad and tells me she's going to pack and leave. And so I said, well, if you leave the house tonight, you cannot come back. And she looked at me and she's like, fine, if you're kicking me out, I'm going to leave. And that's the last time I saw her. Well, no, that's not true, because yesterday, so I texted her so that was Sunday. I texted her on Monday and I said, I hope you're okay. I would like to have lunch with you. Maybe we can communicate a little bit better, like at a restaurant or something. If you would please have lunch with me. I know you have work tomorrow. I can drive you to work if you like. Oh, that's the other thing. She really freaked out because I wouldn't give her car. But my name is on that title, and if she was to wreck it or whatever, that makes it my liability, and I'm not going to take that liability. So I wouldn't give her car. My husband unhooked the battery so she couldn't drive it. I had a jar full of money she asked me to hold on to because she was saving it for a new car. And so I had that hidden, and she wanted that, and I wouldn't give that to her. So she told me I was stealing from her. And my response to that was, I'm not stealing from you. Stealing from you would be me taking your money and spending it. I'm not spending it. I'm just not going to make your bad decisions easy for you. So you're going to leave with nothing. So she packed a suitcase and she left. So I had lunch with her yesterday, and she agreed to come and meet me, and I got to the restaurant, and she wouldn't order any food, so I knew she was there to give me an ultimatum. She was going to be ready to leave whenever she wanted to. So I had not been sleeping well. So I ordered because I went there hungry, and I didn't have a plan, right? I didn't have a plan just to walk out. So I ordered, and basically I tried to talk to her, and basically she said to me that if I wasn't there to give her her car and her money, then she had nothing to say to me. So it's basically an ultimatum. Give me my car, you're not going to see me or talk to me. And so I looked at her and I said, I absolutely am not giving you your car, and I'm not giving you your money. When you're 18 and you can get insurance on your car and you can pay to have me removed off the title, I will give you your car. So she got up and she left. Told me I was a effing B. Which is fine. Like, I'm snicker. It's not funny, but it's how I make it through right now. Like, seriously. Like, I have to find humor in this somewhere, or I'm just going to be a basket case. I have no idea where she is. I have no idea if she's on the streets. I have no idea if she's using drugs. I have no idea if... I mean, it's cold right now. It's like in like 31 degrees at night. We had a 28 degree night. Like, to think about her sleeping on the streets just breaks my heart. So I'm just trying to make it. I know there's obviously some depression or anxiety issues, maybe even some personality issues. I don't know. But as a mom, I had to draw the line. Anyway, had a disruption. I guess that's all I have for right now. I'm emotionally exhausted, which has actually been kind of a blessing because my husband is away for 10 days working, and while all this is going on, so this emotional exhaustion is making me sleep really well. It's almost depression. I'll get over it though. I'll get over it. This isn't the first time she's done it, and but it has to be the last. I can't take it. My blood pressure was so high I had a headache for like a week with all this stuff going on. But it's fine. I just keep smiling and I keep pressing on, and I just have to keep praying for her that she will come to her senses. I keep praying for God to work on her heart, soften her heart. I send her scripture every day. Just trying to work through it. Because I don't want to kill her spirit, but I also need to find a way to I basically bring it to reality. Like, this is not, living your life like this is not reality. Goodness gracious. So, anyway, I guess I'll wrap it up here. And I hope you guys can put us on your prayer list. And keep us in your thoughts. Yeah, that's where I'm going to end it because I'm like, it's gone. All right. Have a great day, everybody. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.